Hey, listen, this one is for my lucid dreamers. See, last night I had a crazy dream, but this was no dream. See, I was fully conscious. And many of you have had quote unquote dreams like this as well. These are not dreams. This is your consciousness leaving the body. Today, we're gonna touch base on lucid dreaming, astral travel, astral projection. We going into all that. But first, we gotta get down this hill. Many of us are no stranger to traveling about in the astral realms, but let's talk about it. See, I'm not a new astral traveler. In fact, I've been traveling for quite some time, ever since I was a kid actually. And what's funny about that is, when I was a kid, I had absolutely no clue what was going on. See, I was in these dreamlike states, but conscious and controlling the dream. Anything I thought would actually come to life, it would happen. If I wanted to fly, I could fly. If I wanted to teleport over here, I could teleport over here. And this was something that I experienced a lot as a kid. But trying to tell people about it as a kid, you know, you come off crazy. And they tell you it's just a dream. Don't worry about it. But that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, your astral state, which is the spirit realm, is where you came from. See, before you came into the physical realm, you were a spirit that descended down into a physical vessel. See, we were spiritual before we were ever physical. And this is something that has been separated from us for a very long time. But now, we are actually being reconnected back with that. So, I can't exactly remember everything from a child as far as my travels went in my dreamlike state, but I do have some stories from my adult years or my teen years that really stand out. See, they say you more than likely cannot remember a dream, but like I told you, this was no dream. And I remember it very vividly. We got to come into the understanding of something, right? I don't have all the answers. In fact, I'm seeking the answers now. And they say you seek and you shall find what you're looking for. So those answers will soon come to me. But in the meantime, I'm still seeking. So there's a lot to cover, man, when we're talking about your astral state. Visuals, lucid dreaming, flying in your dreams, battles. There's been a couple of battles I've been in. So we have been disconnected from our spiritual selves. And in this grand awakening, we are now reconnecting back with our spiritual selves. Something that has been put down in the myth category. Something that has been put down in the fiction category. But this is non-fiction, my people. So, if you notice, I am walking amongst the trees, and that's by no mistake. See, the trees serve a great purpose with me when it comes to astral travel. In fact, I have been shown a whole lot by the trees in my astral state. And it is something that I hold near and dear to me. The trees are much more than what you think they are. See, when it comes to the trees, one thing that you have to understand is the trees are teachers. And when in that astral state, the trees will show you things that you need to see. How many of you have experienced astral travel? I'm very curious because not too many people that I speak to in person have experienced astral travel. Or if they have, it was a very long time ago and they don't really remember much about it. But I do come by a lot of people online that have experienced just that. I want to really get deep into astral travel because I believe the foods that you eat, the drinks that you drink, the TV that you watch, the things that you do on a daily basis have a profound effect on the way that you quote unquote dream at night. You know what's so crazy is when I explain to somebody who's never had an astral projection experience, they always think that the experience is scary whenever I explain to them when it's taking place. But this couldn't be any further from the truth, because when you're in that astral state, to be completely honest with you, it is one of the most peaceful states there is. See, you are entering back into which you came from, and that is the spiritual realm. I'm curious to hear other people's experience while in astral projection, lucid dreaming, astral travel, whatever you call it. To me, it's all the same thing. Or maybe it's different. Who knows, right? One thing I do know is that I am leaving the vessel. I'm leaving the body, and I'm going elsewhere. See, there are many different astral states in my personal opinion. There are times when I'm in a dream and I become conscious of what is going on. And there are also times when I'm laying down, getting ready to go to sleep, and I have my eyes closed. And next thing I know, my body starts to feel like it's shaking, kind of like I'm on a boat. I wouldn't say shaking, but it starts to feel like my body is swaying. There's a better word, swaying. My body is swaying back and forth. And I begin to see this spiral when I close my eyes. And next thing you know, I'm taking off. And I end up elsewhere. A lot of these times when that happens, I end up around trees. And this has been happening ever since I was a kid. But I can't really remember too much of those travels. I call them travels because I'm traveling. But one of the things that ends up happening is I'm always around trees. Trees, I'm telling you, are the greatest teachers out there. And they have shown me a lot. They have taught me a lot. And in the astral realms, trees are much more alive than what they are here. See, what we're witnessing right now is the trees are kind of like in a meditative state. They're standing still unless the wind is hitting them. But I've experienced the trees in full motion. I've seen the trees come alive in the astral realms. The trees are much more than what you could ever imagine. Some of the greatest teachers ever. And what are the trees? The trees are nature. What are you? You are nature. What are we? We are nature. It was one day that I was out here and I was observing the trees. And at the time, I had my feet on the soil. And I remember getting the message that every tree was its own individual tree. Every leaf was its own individual leaf. And not just that, when the wind hit each tree, it had its own frequency. It had its own sound.